I know a lot of you guys probably like your coffee black, but let me tell you, it takes a real man to order the orange lavender iced latte. Delicious. Hello from the Carpenter Hotel here in Austin, Texas. Usually when I come to Austin, I stay right by the lodge. I usually don't get enough time downtown. A lot of my time is just spent at the card club, which of course is always a great time, but you know, switch it up a little bit, get some city vibes, get some city scenery. That's what we're doing this time, checking our new hotel, checking out the, I've been starting every day. Actually, before I go to sleep, I've been ending every night with some sports betting. I've been starting every morning and afternoon with some sports betting, followed by some poker study, then it is poker time. I've been using a site called Unabated, I've mentioned it before, getting some bets in. My wife, Boosie, she's been firing away as well, getting some bets in on her end. Boosie, we got some bets in.
Bets are in.
Link to Unabated is down below if you want to check that out. Bets are in. Time for the lodge. So I seem to have made a little bit of a mistake. The tournament that I would like to play doesn't start for an hour and a half. You think I would understand what's going on at this place, but clearly not. So I got an hour and a half to kill. But once this tournament kicks off, it should be quite enjoyable because it's a deuces wild tournament. There's wild cards. Those wild cards are deuces. Now, I've played a lot of video poker in my day, and I feel exceptionally qualified for this tournament. I'm looking forward to this one. $200 buy-in, ready to go, but like I said, I got an hour and a half to kill, so maybe some poker hands, cash game style in between. If so, I'll share them. If not, I'm just gonna sit here for an hour and a half and wait for the Deuces Wild tournament. But boy, is it great to be back at the lodge. God, I love this place, you know? All right, so let me tell you guys what just happened. I decided, as one does, to play the 5-5-10 at Pot Lib in Omaha. Some things happened, some things went down. So 5-5-10 PLO, $20 straddle on in this hand. We look down under the gun at the ace 9-9-8 with nut diamonds. We're gonna go ahead and raise this puppy up. Let's make it $75 to go from under the gun. Button and straddler make the call. So we're going three ways to a rather favorable one of 10-9-9 with two hearts. That's quads, people, for those keeping score at home. So when the straddler checks, I'm gonna check it back. Tough to find continues on a paired board when you have all the nines. So the action checks around after the button checks back. Turn is a king of clubs, second club. Straddler checks. I'm gonna try and find some value here now. I go ahead and fire out for $100. The button wants to play for more money. That's a pretty good sign when you're holding quads here. He goes ahead and makes it $300. Straddler folds. Flat call here, I think, makes the most sense by far. Let's do that. I call. River is the 4 of clubs, completing a possible backdoor flush. I'm going to check it, hope the button continues wagering, and wager he does. For $400, time to spring the ultimate trap, people. Springing the trap here. I check raise for the pots, the maximum, which turns out to be $2,040. The button, the player on the button, kind of hates life, and he eventually decides to make the call, which is fantastic news because, once again, for those keeping score at home, we got the nuts here rolled over, and it's a sick one, my friends. It is maximum grossness because the button shows us pocket kings. Doesn't show the other two cards. King, king, XX for top full house, losing only to flopped quads, which we happen to have. So that's fantastic news. That's a large pot, $5,000 or something like that. So yeah, easy game. One more hand of note here. I go ahead and raise the Jack, 7 deuce double suited to $40 with no straddle on. The blinds, I'm on the button by the way, the blinds and the straddler make the call. So 4 ways to ace, king, queen, 1 spade and 2 diamonds. Action checks over to me. We've got the blockers here. Let's go ahead and put out a wager for $75 and see what happens. What happens is small blind ejects. Big blind calls, straddler. The $10, the player in the $10 blind makes the call. The turn is the 4 of spades, which adds a flush draw to our blockers holding here. Players check it over to me. I inquire how much is the pot. The pot is $385, and that's how much I wager with my blockers plus backup. The big blind gets out of the way immediately. Player in the $10 blind thinks for a little bit before making the fold. So we get one extreme cooler to go our way, and we get one bluff through, and I hit and run the game kind of sheepishly, but we've got things to do. I start the game with $3,000, and I cash out for this much, which is $2,000, $4,000, $45,000, $5,000, $1, $52, $53, $53.50 for a profit of $2,350, or as I like to call it, 11.75 buy-ins into the Deuces Wild tournament. Let's go do that. Let's get our first buy-in for $200. Deuces Wild. This is going to be a wild one for sure. I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but good news is nobody does either.
Forgetting you don't love me no more. I keep forgetting you don't want me, that you didn't want me around anymore.
All right, so this is insanity happening right now in this Deuces Wild tournament because literally not a single person knows what they're doing, including me. So I just got pocket queens. We're playing 200 big blind. I just limp in. If anyone has a deuce, it's massively powerful. Premium pocket pairs, normally premiums, not so much in this game. So I limp the queens. Guy on my left raises it up to 1,200, and I call. Flop is like ace 3-2, I think. So now we have a set of queens. I check, he bets, I call. Turn is another heart, so there's 3 hearts on the board now. I check, he checks back. River pairs the board with the ace and puts another heart up there. So now we actually have a flush. I decide to check it, he bets a few thousand, I call, whatever. Turns out he has pocket jacks with a heart. So we essentially have the same hand, and I pip him here with the queens. But if he happened to have a deuce there, then he would have a straight flush.
Guys, I am just reviewing this footage back as I'm editing it, and we didn't have a flush, we had a full house. We had queens full of aces. He had jacks full of aces. It doesn't really change too much. There would have been a straight flush available if my opponent had a deuce, but we had full houses. This is just ridiculous. Back to the action.
So it's insanity out here. Everyone's trying to figure out what the fuck they're doing, and that includes me very much. All right, so I got my first deuce of the day. There was a bunch of limps over to me, and I get ace deuce, which is, in my mind, the second pre-flop nuts, because pocket deuces would be the nuts, and then I think ace deuce has to be the second nuts pre-flop, right? So I rip it all in there out of the small blind or big blind, and it folds to middle position guy who calls all in, and we get heads up. He's got 6 deuce, but bad news here. Even though we have him crushed here, he makes a straight, a middling straight, 6-8 or something like that. So we lose some money here. Ace deuce no good. Terrible beat. Terrible bad beat.
All right, there's good news and there's bad news. Good news is that I got another deuce. I got the 6 deuce this time. Ship it all in there. Opponent calls with the jack deuce. The 6 deuce worked out for my opponent the other time when I had ace deuce. It doesn't work out for me this time for some reason. That's the bad news. I lose. The other guy made a royal flush, I think. All right, bullet number 2. Bullet number 3.
All right, so interesting hand here where we are playing the 800 big blind level, and I got about 30K. There was an early position raise to 2,500, and we looked down at pocket aces. I decided to flat call because I have no idea what I'm doing. Folds over to the big blind who jams all in, maybe 15K or something like that. Doesn't matter, the early position player jams all in as well. And as mentioned, I still have no idea what I'm doing. Am I supposed to fold aces in a game with a wild card? Do I just go with it? I decided to go with it, again, because I have no idea what I'm doing. So we get all in. Of course, the other 2 players have a deuce. I think I'm a dog. or at least that's what it feels like. But we flop okay. We flop a set of aces because there's a deuce on the flop. But the bad news is that the board pairs. The board runs out with a deuce and a pair of eights on it, which means anybody else with a deuce now has quads. We have aces full, but they have quads. So we lose. So that is that. I don't know. Are you just supposed to fold aces, like I said, pre-flop? I genuinely have no idea. Somebody will probably tell me maybe 3 ways you are supposed to fold it. Maybe that makes it so you're not supposed to fold. I have no clue. But that's 3 bullets. I got in for the 3 bullets into the Deuces Wild tournament. I now have 0 chips, $600. Goodbye. However, shout out to Caitlin Komeski for asking if I want to do a last longer event in these wacky weekend of poker tournaments. I accepted, and that's $50 back in my pocket. So I get a $50 rebate. I'm currently down $550 after the first tournament, the Deuces Wild tournament. But like I said, we got some ammunition from that Pot Limit Omaha game, so all is well. Now, the choice is, do I play the double board bomb pot tournament or not? I think yes. What time is it? It's 6:19 in the PM. Let me think. This B-roll that you are about to see, that will indicate whether I am in the double board PLO bomb pot tournament or am I in the PLO cash games. Let's find out right now together. All right, guys, this is a very sleepy boy, Andrew, about to call it a night here. I am exhausted. I played 2 tournaments. As you can see, I did in fact play the double board PLO bomb pot tournament. Not once, but 2 bullets into that one as well. So 3 bullets into the Deuces Wild tournament and 2 bullets into the bomb pot tournament. So that is 600, 800, 1,000. Lose $1,000 in the tournaments. Further bad news is that Caitlin also outlasted me and last longer in the bomb pot tournament. So I had to give her back her $50. So broke even in the last longers. Minus 1K in the tournaments, plus $2,350 in the PLO cash games for a profit on the day of $1,350. So all things considered, pretty good day, despite busting 5 bullets worth of tournaments. This was a wacky day to kick off the wacky weekend of tournaments. Not the usual poker vlog content to be found in this episode, that's for sure, but more normal stuff to come from tomorrow because we're going to play on stream tomorrow. A bunch of creators such as Pokerface Ash, Caitlin Komeski, the aforementioned, Cairo will be in there, and some other friendly faces as well who make content. We're all going to play 5-10 Match the Stack, so that one should be pretty fun. Normal 2-card cash game action tomorrow. Quick announcement, the WPT Voyage is now on sale. I've been instructed to let the people know. I will put a link down below in the description box where you can book a cabin to come join us on the WPT Voyage. That is on March 31st to April 6th. I had a blast last time. It should be awesome again this time. Come hang out on the WPT Voyage. And then more poker to come here from the Lodge. All right, subscribe, like, comment. Thanks.